shortly. Okay. Tēnā koutou katoa, greetings to you all from Aotearoa Waitaha, Christchurch, Canterbury, here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. If this is the first time you've joined us, I am Sarita McLean, the Regional Rotary Public Image Coordinator, and it is really so lovely to see you all of here today. We welcome, a warm welcome to Jalaluddin Khan, all the way from Trinidad Tobago. It is absolutely lovely to have you join us, Jalaluddin. We're joining together today from across Australia, New Zealand, and the Pacific Islands, and Trinidad Tobago. And on behalf of all of us, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which each of us meet, live, learn, and work. I acknowledge and honor Indigenous cultures, traditions, country, iwi, and nation, and pay my respects as appropriate to elders and leaders, Kaumatua and Kuya, past, present, and emerging. Today's session, Public Image and Your Club, is presented by past District Governor and Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator, Daryl Esepe. So Daryl looks after districts 9560 and 9620, Northern Australia, Timor-Leste, Queensland, Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, and Nauru. Daryl has been an active Rotarian for over 30 years. With an accounting background, he runs several companies, including an Aboriginal medicine-based cosmetic company and a jewelry business, as well as finding time to be on a number of boards and also be the treasurer for Heart Support Australia. Daryl's extensive experience in both business and Rotary is very much appreciated, and I, for one, am so grateful to have him on the Zone 8 Public Image team. So thank you, Daryl, for running this session for us today. So a little note about housekeeping. If you can please put your name and district number on your profile, and also mute yourselves, that will be appreciated. If you have any questions, type it in the chat box at the bottom of your Zoom screen, because we will have time at the end to answer those questions for you. And I'll send a recording of this session to everyone who has registered. So over to you, Daryl, now.
Thank you, Sarita. Thank you for the introduction. And of course, Sarita, if you can put up where the video will be held on the Zone channel, so that people know that they can access that there, and also our previous webinars as well. Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
That would be great.
I will let everyone know towards the end. It's the Rotary Zone 8 website, and also we have a Vimeo account, and put all of those in there as well, and make reference to it through the social media as well. Okay, right. Over to you.
Yep. I'm just trying to get it to share, that's all. I've lost the share button. Screen. And sorry, guys.
That's all right. Take your time.
Yep. Yeah. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes. Well, I can.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Thanks. So what is public image? We're doing an overview today of Public Image in Your Club. And what that comes back to is we have done a number of webinars over the last 2 years where we've actually talked about things like Canva, how to promote events, and we've got other webinars coming up. We do one every month. We won't be doing one in October because of the Zone conference. However, Sarita organises a webinar for every month other than that. This is sort of trying to tie some of these together and get them to actually how they affect your club. So what we'll be talking about today is what is public image? How does public image help your club? What do you need to do? The implementation, and what is a winning club? So Rotary's public image is the public's perception of the brand. It's the ideas that the public have about your club and Rotary in general. You can help shape the brand's public image by telling people who Rotary is through marketing and advertising. But what is really important for the image is the actions you take. Actions. This is what sculpts your corporate image, is your actions. It's like having great stewardship, developing innovative services that help people, following ethical business practices, actually operating by your values, appropriately responding to criticism, providing tremendous service, treating your volunteers with dignity and respect, and attracting elite talent. We could do this by marketing, but our actions is what actually shows. 90% of the world knows McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Google because they advertise and sell a product worldwide. Rotary is the largest service organisation in the world, yet unless you've actually been involved with Rotary at some point in your life, Rotary is virtually unknown to the general public. Like the multinationals I've just mentioned, we are represented around the world, we have a product to sell, and yet we do not advertise. And that's because we use our funds to help humanity. So what can we do? Rotary has over 1.2 million members, with over 35,000 clubs worldwide. Let's say each club contributes 30,000 per year into their local and international communities. This would mean Rotary directly inputs in excess of $1.5 billion per year into the world economy. Let's say each member gives 2 hours per week to Rotary over and above their meetings. This would equate to 120 million hours of service to the world each year. Now imagine if we promoted our clubs in Rotary in a consistent message when we interact in our local communities via our events or projects. This could be the most effective advertising campaign ever. This is what public image is. How does it help your club? Having a stellar public image opens up more opportunities for testimonials, case studies, and awards. These provide the social proof needed to earn the public's trust and confidence. Organisations will want to partner with your club. Some people may even want to be part of your club and to become members. Brand value is often a critical factor in someone's purchasing decision. For instance, 83% of millennials find it important to purchase from companies that align with their values. More than likely, you already know this on a quantitative level as well. So consider, for instance, the last time you made a purchase on a product or service for which you could have found a cheaper alternative. Perhaps you purchased a new phone or splurged on the new Tesla you wanted for a while. Ultimately, you're more likely to make that purchasing decision, at least in part, due to the brand's reputation and overall image. That is why corporate image matters. It can influence whether consumers want to buy from you and can increase brand loyalty when people feel your values align with their own. And I come back to the point. People may even want to be part of your club and become members. What do you need? You need to get your members excited. You want them to come and bring others. You need to inform your members. This is where telling them where the money is raised is being used. You need to encourage members to stay in Rotary. This is what Rotary tries to achieve with long-term projects like End Polio. And we need to get Rotarians in general excited. So please help our fellow Rotarians in raising awareness of need. Because to do all this, you need to inform the public. So What you need to do is plan what you want to achieve. Know where you want to go. Get started with the club public image chair checklist. Contact your district public image chair if you can't find this on My Rotary. It's an excellent checklist of about a page and a half where you can just go through and check that your club has got your public image process in check and working in the right direction. Know who you're targeting and know your public. And finally, the 3 Ps: promote, promote, and promote. So we talk about the public, and it's which subset of the public are we dealing with? We know about diversity, equity, inclusion. Do we address that in our articles? Or do we believe it's all one audience? Most of the posts, most of the articles I've seen written by clubs and posted on social media believe there's just one audience and we're not actually addressing the public that we want to address. No article can address everyone effectively. So are you promoting Rotary every day? Wear your Rotary pin, shirt or cap. Do it for 30 days. If you're wearing your Rotary pin, if you do it for 30 days straight, it will become a habit that you will wear it for your lifetime. Is your website up to date in promoting the event? Have you told local media? Are they invited to the events? Invite them to Rotary meetings, special events, and projects. Ask them what is required to get a story in the media. Promote the action on social media. Is your social media a people of action shot, or is it a check or members sitting around a table? If you want to know for more than be known for more than Bunnings sausages, change the way you post it. Example: water project receives $1,000 raised today from the public at Bunnings. Isn't that a better story than saying we're at Bunnings, come and buy your sausages? Sell the message. Is your club PR ready? Produce a brochure for your club. The templates are available in the Brand Centre. Do you know now that anyone can now go into the Brand Centre and access it and download the material? You don't need a My Rotary login. This means that there's no excuse for any graphic designer, printer, etc., not to use the right logos, the right colours, and the right branding. Display your club banners. Have you got a club banner? Are all your materials consistent with the correct logo? Next year, it's 10 years since we changed to this logo. Do you have a designated person or committee for the promotion? That is one of the things that I think lacks in most clubs, is that every time they have an event, they leave it to the organizer to do the promotion of the event. And often this happens after the event has happened. Nominate someone to promote the event to get to a wider audience. Implementation. Plan. Plan your club public image committee, your website, your social media to be outward focusing and not just to your members. Most social media pages have great followings of Rotarians, but very little from the public. Plan your media, plan your brochure, plan your signage. Wear your Rotary pins and shirts. In your planning, if you need assistance, go to your district public image chair, go to your zone coordinators. Where one of us can't help on a particular topic, amongst us all, we have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. And I know that, for instance, 9560 has just had Andy Marcellus is going to be doing a promotion for them in relation to Canva and social media. So, yeah, use the resources. That's what we're here for. We are here to be used, not necessarily abused, but definitely used. And join in our monthly webinars like this one. Develop your news hook, a persuasive reason for the audience to hear your story. Where, when, how, what, who, and why. Include the 5 W's in the opening paragraph of your article. Who, what, where, when, and why. Use that hook to get people interested. Look at where your club is going to be heard. Is it in the local village news? Is it in the state papers? Is it in the national publications? Are you doing it on TV, radio, social media? And don't forget to look at your social media. Yeah, the best examples you've got looking for membership is link into your district LinkedIn sites. LinkedIn is where professionals go for connecting with professionals, where people are going to look for jobs, looking for ideas, etc. Rotary is ideally situated to be there and work with the people, and in particular, the younger generation. And of course, then we have our Rotary publications, Rotary on the Move. And if you're not getting it, talk to your local district people about getting a copy of Rotary on the Move sent to you on the 15th of each month. You've got your Rotary Down Under, your Rotary magazine, your My Rotary website, which is so full of so much detail and information, and where you can publish events and get people involved. You've got your club website, and of course the Zone 8 website. And of course, I see Caro's on here today, so we've also got the use of Membership Voice to get items out to the public as well. Thanks, Caro. The different social media platforms that are suitable for different messages and different audiences. Your page, share a message and a story to your own friends. Your club page for messages to members and friends of the club and to other Rotary groups. And get that widened to an audience of non-Rotarians. You've got your club group for internal messaging to club members and a community page for message to the local community. Most local communities have a community page where you can share your club's information to a wider part of the community. Instagram for presentation of upcoming events or newsworthy items, and do a photo or video rather than just a story. LinkedIn I've spoken about, and of course you've got Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and a whole range of other social media things. But don't forget to use the hashtags in what you use because to widen the audience. They're also a great tool for when someone wants to go back and look at things that are done. So when people are looking at your club, they can do the hashtag of your club and they can find out all the events. Or they can do a hashtag on polio or hashtag on planting trees. And these will show what your club has done in the past. And these are the ways that people actually want to get involved. But remember with all of this, that the posting of these things is more important before the event than it is after. After is looking in the rearview mirror where we've been. But if we want people to get involved and we want people to help your club, then we need to focus on the windscreen and look forward. The reference material here is from My Rotary and is available to everybody. but also will be available with these notes. When you're working on a project, as I've said, include a public relations component in your project. Plan it to help ensure that your projects and your events get the attention and support they need. Develop a relationship with your local reporter. Help them remember you through regular contact. Invite them to events. Invite them, and ask them, what do they want to see? What message do they want to hear? How do they want it put forward? When you develop that news hook for them, you develop the news hook for their readers. You can always advertise, but the best advertisement, as I said earlier, is action. The action that you take, the action that you show. Show people what you do. It's exciting to see your club mentioned in the newspaper, to see Rotary featured on a billboard. Remember to send a thank you to those who have helped you along the way. The winning club. The winning club, to me, is where 10 non-Rotarians to each Rotarian come along on social media. We have more guests than members to our functions. The club is invited to apply for grants and wins them. The media is constantly asking you for your next project. And we have more volunteers than members. This means we have an increased membership and increased funds to provide more action, to provide a better service to the world. That's what public image and your club is all about. Promoting, so that we have increased membership and increased funds. So, questions?
Kero.
Hi, Sarita. Hi, Daryl. Daryl,
Hi, Kero.
That was a great presentation. Thank you. And thank you for mentioning Membership Voice. Daryl, one of the things that I'm wondering about here, and it really came about as a result of a great little presentation we had on Membership Voice from the one of the clubs here in Perth, one of the modern clubs here in Perth, about the action they take after the event. And that was a little bit of an eye opener, because, as you said, I've always had a focus on the lead-in, because you want to get people there. But and you mentioned that saying thank you is important. But what I learned from that presentation was some of the sophisticated stuff that you can actually do in terms of relationship building with those stakeholders who may have had a one-off engagement with your event on that occasion, but looking to build relationships so you have more opportunities to get involved in things that can promote your club's image. And I thought that was a fascinating learning. So I thought I might just mention it today, because I think it complements the great presentation that you've made. But what do you think of that?
I think it's a great idea, Kero. And I love the use of, I love the use of Club Runner for things like that, where you get the details of those that come along, help, assist. You've sold tickets to the event. You get all their details. It's in Club Runner, and it allows you then to actually, when you're promoting your next event, you've got a direct mail contact or a direct phone contact that you can to anybody that was interested. And it might be that you've got to do subsets where these people are only interested in doing environmental projects with the club. These people are happy to help with some fundraising. These people are only happy to help with something that's happening in where you're raising money for Papua New Guinea or something like that. But it's keeping those lists and those contacts, because when you have contact with them 3 times at events and functions and projects, they'll continue to always come along to different things, and they'll widen their aspect. When you've had contact with them 7 times, they will definitely join as a Rotarian at an appropriate time. That's not my stats. That's actually backed up by some very extensive university studies in relation to keeping those contacts and making sure they actually happen.
Fantastic. Thanks, Daryl. Oh, Daryl, can I just ask a supplementary, sort of unrelated question?
Yep.
Could I have a copy of the recording of this to add to our membership voice library?
Sarita, you'll organise that, Kira.
Yes,
Fantastic.
Kira, you will get a recording at the end, and hopefully today or tomorrow, once it's been processed.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks, Sarita. Thanks, Daryl.
And
You're
if you need the notes and anything else, Kira, just let me know and I'll send them to you.
Okay, that would be good. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
Our friend from Trinidad Tobago.
Yes.
Greetings to all fellow Rotarians, and good morning and good evening. Daryl, thanks so much, and through you, the chair, greetings to everyone. One comment and 2 a question. One, the comment, it was very important that you pointed out at the beginning of your presentation. We Rotary and Rotarians are pretty much one of the largest organizations, service organization, but in our community is one of the most unknown. I think I concur with you very much so in our context in Trinidad and Tobago, even in the Caribbean. And this is something very important, because the comment to this is that I think we as Rotarians and as Rotary really need to have a philosophy about branding and about our service image, because this is my concern. The question I pose is that, one, internally in our clubs, as Rotary clubs, same way we have pets and same way we have various training, it not necessarily transfers over, because we change boards every year, into a protocol that, hey, we are a Rotary Club, we do have a public image philosophy about outreach. But as a team internally, not necessarily every Rotarian has a buy-in to this philosophy, because we come from various technical backgrounds per se. So I think it's one of the front actions that we need to have in our club policy or management style, that public image, understanding, and branding should be something right to the forefront. And then there's a protocol to roll out, as you outlined, our external activities, how our branding and public image works. I say this because I come from both a designer background and working in advertising and mass media. And I really think that we, and it's something that probably could go up from a micro level to a macro level, at convention level or overall. And I think we're doing it internally in Rotary, that I think Rotary really is like a sustainable development organization per se. And we're not necessarily a humanitarian alone, because we added environment and all these other 7 areas of focus. And I think this is something that, coming back to the question, how do we really translate public imaging internally to our members, so there's sustainability of it being implemented as a protocol in our operations of our club? Thank you.
Thanks, Geraldine. When I joined Rotary over 30 years ago, I got told that we don't need to do anything, because we get on and do what we do. But we know now that that's not right, because that was the start of our membership decline, was when we stopped growing back in the 1990s in our membership, particularly in Australia. And with that, we've got to actually go out there and sell the story. We know that the raising of the dollar is harder to do unless we can actually get, companies and sponsors on board, because otherwise we're always hitting our own pockets and things like that. So it's an awareness factor that Rotary is coming to grips with, and probably coming to grips with 30 years too late, but we're working on getting that sorted and fixed now. We can look at the Lions example, where the Lions here in Australia did an advertising campaign for membership a few years ago, spent $3 million and have had absolutely no effect on their membership at the end of the year. You've got to actually do it in a more targeted way, letting people know what you do with your actions, what you're doing, how you're going about it. And that's what, through these webinars that Sarita has, organised, is that, last month was on logos. The month before was on how to actually promote an event. We've had ones on how to use Canva, which, given your graphic design background, you'll understand that, getting that right image is so important. We have to work on this, and we have to work on this as an education point of view. I think we're doing it. With Jennifer Jones' media background, she has made public image one of her absolute core focuses for this year for Rotary International. And I think we're gradually getting traction in relation to it, but it is a slow process, and it's a learning process. It's also a learning process on the basis that many of us grew up with magazines and newspapers and TV, and nothing in the way of internet or social media. And so we're all having to learn these new aspects and how they work and how they don't work. So that's part of the learning process. We've just got to keep chipping away at it and make sure. I think it's more of a 3-year plan than a 6-month fix, but it's definitely something that we work on in relation to. I hope that actually helps your question. Sue, you had a question?
Thanks.
Yes, yeah, thanks, Daryl. Great news that you don't need to sign in anymore for the brand centre. That's a real big plus. I've only just had a bit of a brief look at it because I wanted to do a brochure, and I've come across the stumbling block that you can't save your work on the template. Every time you go into it, you've got to put your information back into it. Copy and paste every time you open it up. I don't really find that very user-friendly.
Okay, I haven't noticed that because I haven't done a brochure on the news site. I'll have a look at it, and if that's the case, through Sarita, we'll go back to Evanston and see what can be done.
Yeah, thank you.
You want to make a comment?
It's just painful.
Yep.
Okay. So if you wouldn't mind just copying me in that email, the troubles that you're having, and I'll forward it to Evanston and get them to see it, because we don't really want our members to be struggling and not being able to save a draft, because we want it to be as streamlined as possible.
Okay.
Otherwise people, go off and do some things that they shouldn't be doing.
Okay, thanks, Rita.
You're welcome. And Merwin, you had your hand up.
Yes, thanks, Rita. I'd like to ask Daryl, he mentioned using hashtags. I was wondering if you have a comment about the value of using tags. In other words, a post on a club page, whether you have an event coming up or whether you're celebrating the success of an event, tagging the community partners, the name of the event, et cetera, in your post, rather than just saying, Rotary Club of Airlie Beach had a great organising the Reef Festival Street Parade, which is another organisation, and thank you to so-and-so, actually tagging those names of those places and people and organisations.
Oh, absolutely, Merrin. Get their permission first, of course, but if they're sponsors and you've got their logos, definitely use the tag them as well. Classic example, I was presenting on to a club recently where they talked about wanting to run an evening where they had someone from Shelterbox come along as an ambassador to just talk about Shelterbox, so they could donate some money to Shelterbox for the Pakistani floods. So I spoke to them about that. What they're now going to do is they're now approaching the local Pakistani communities in the area, the Chamber of Commerce that covers Australia, Pakistan, and also the university in relation to overseas students. They're tagging those in. They're actually including them in the promotion. I think that they will probably get 10 shelter boxes out of a function, and it'll just be a meeting with a ambassador from Shelter Box come along. And I don't think any one of those shelter boxes will be coming out of any of their own club funds. I think that and it's how we use those community partners and sponsors and get them involved, and that's what that's what Roach is about, is making those connections.
I notice sometimes when I tag another organisation or partners that we've been involved with in my posts, those organisations it draws those organisations to your post, and that means that more people will see the post, other than whoever might happen to look at it. And those people then often will like the post, and they'll often share the post to their own page. So it's about spreading the word and getting more people and organisations knowing about what you do. So I find tagging can be quite valuable.
As Sarita said earlier in the introduction, I sit as one of the board of directors of Heart Support Australia, and we've just linked up with the Larapinta Trail, and we've tagged those, and all of a sudden our posts have gone about 20 times, and we're getting more people interested in actually helping just because of that one tag. So yeah.
No, that's fantastic, because what I normally do is once I sent a thank you note, and particularly it was, I think, the first or second session I ran, and we had quite a huge attendance register, and it was the districts which had about 20 plus people registered. So I chose them and put them, and had somebody say, what about our district? We have someone there. So I thought, okay, it works that way as well. So now I just take all of your districts when I put a thank you post on my page. So which is great. It just goes out and shows, that there's things happening as well. So that's always good. And Jalaluddin, you've got another question.
Thank you, Sarita. Daryl, I have a question regards to, your checklist was a lot of do's. What are some of the don'ts? Because I think in this modern world, especially with copyrights, liability, public use of public image, any tidbits of wisdom of don'ts in terms of some guidelines that you could share with us? Thanks. In terms of public image management.
Well, in particular, don't show photos of children without getting permission from their parents, or by getting permission some other way. One of the easiest ways in Australia to get permission is actually get the photos sent to you from their school, so that, because the school already has the permissions for the ones that they send to you. So don't use music that you don't have the copyright ability for. So check before you add music to any of your videos or posts, because several clubs in Australia have been sued for $25,000 and $50,000 each for successfully sued for breaching copyright on music. So there are plenty of sites you can go to actually get music that is freely available, and that type of thing. But yes, be very careful on your music. As I said in the presentation, don't post photos of checks or members sitting around a table unless there's something else happening at the same time. Show something of action, show something that people want to see. You can do the check and in a different way. Change the heading of the article. $1,000 to a water project, rather than showing a check being presented to it. It's there's plenty of ways of actually making that happen. But yeah, it's be careful with your photos, be careful with your music, because they will get you into trouble and can get you sued, or worse. And just keep your photos and your videos showing DEI and action. Make it so that people want to see what's actually happening.
And if I might add, if you are certainly for New Zealand and Australia, if you have any dealings with the media or you're wanting to, we have Angela Stavrogiannopoulos in the Sydney office of Rotary International, and she is the liaison person, and she will certainly help put your articles in that paper in media as well. So you don't have to do everything yourself. So there is actually help available. And wherever you are in the world, Jalaluddin, you'll also have somewhere in a Rotary International office closest to you, and they'll have an external media person who will deal with. So certainly, rely on them. So you don't have to do all of these things yourselves. Okay, any other questions? Barry.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Daryl, thank you very much for your input today. It's absolutely fantastic. But the one thing I do believe that happened, you're talking about changing the logo around about 10 years ago. I'd like you to make contact with John Hendrickson from 9510. I believe the latest logo changed in 2020. That does not have the word Rotary International or Rotary Australia on the logo. Has a slightly different presentation. Just bringing you up to date. I may be wrong. Please suggest that. But at the other end of it, we do wear Rotary t-shirts with public image on it and the new logo. And we've only just gone through a change there. And the original t-shirts and shirts that we had made in April are now obsolete because we do not have the new logo on it. And it has seen that public image, we're supposed to be setting the example. I'll leave that within your hands. I don't have anything further I need to say. Cheers.
Thanks, Barry. Well, there's no such organisation as Rotary Australia, so there should never be a shirt with Rotary Australia on it. I'll make that comment first. There's other ways that it can be advertised, but yeah, that's on that. And I'll look into the Rotary International one. I'm not aware. Thanks, Barry.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, Barry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, as a matter of interest, we do have a 9510 public image meeting on Thursday night in District 9510. If you wish to catch up with it, anybody else that may take an interest in it, it's open to all, obviously, and I invite you to come in on along it. I should be a part of it, and you're all welcome to come along.
I'm just wondering whether Barry is talking about the simplified version of the logo without Rotary International in it. Is that what you're talking about?
I do believe that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to catch up with it myself because, again, I've had a couple of t-shirts done and they said, no, you cannot wear that. Something to do with spacing and imaging and all the rest of it. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, it's very confusing. I'm hoping to catch up and bring this up on Thursday night when we come along. So that might just be something of interest for anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully your district public image chair is there, and hopefully your assistant public image coordinator is also.
They intend to be, and as I said, this is one area where I do want to thrash it out, if we like, because again, we have an image to portray, and if we can't set the example, I guess we probably can't really expect anybody else to follow suit.
Exactly. Thank you for that.
Thank you, folks. Cheers.
Wonderful. Thank you. So as I said, I will send this recording of this session plus the chat notes through to everybody, hopefully later today or tomorrow, all going well. I've also shared in the chat the club public image chair checklist. and the web presence checklist as well. Those are 2 documents which hopefully you will be able to download. But what I will do is also add them to my email when I send this recording out. So you have the paper version as well, so you can actually use that if you wanted. As always, I encourage you to share this information from today with your clubs. Ask those difficult questions, reach out to us. If you need any assistance in this public image space, we are always available. Check in with your district public image chair first. And if you have no luck there, or they are having difficulty finding that information, they can always, they can always touch base with us, and we will try and get those answers for you. Our contact details on the Rotary Zone 8 website, which is Rotary Zone 8, www.rotaryzone8.org. And so that would be fantastic. We will take a break in October, as Daryl has said, because the Zone 8 conference is in Canberra on the 28th to the 30th of October. If you are attending, please do pop in. We will have a public image booth, and pop in and say hello. It will be really lovely to see you there. So our last session for this Rotary for this year will be on the 27th of November, and will be facilitated by another of our Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinators, Wayne Mills from Western Australia. So do keep an eye out for it. And as soon as I get the details finalized, I will send that on the Rotary Zone 8 website, the Rotary Oceania website, the Facebook pages, including my own, Sarita McLean Rotarian, and also in the regional newsletter, Rotary on the Move. Daryl did talk about the sign up. I've sent you the link to Rotary on the Move. If you're not already receiving it, it's pretty easy. Just go on the link and go sign up and put your email address and go newsletter, and it will just go through to Isa, our editor, and it will automatically edit on to the distribution list, and you will start receiving these newsletters on the 15th of the month. So that newsletter, if you're not receiving it, it includes foundation, public image, and membership news as well. So finally, thank you so much for your attention and your passion. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I really look forward to catching up with you again. Take care, and Sharon, I hope you get better soon. And on the count of 3, I will end the recording. If you wanted to stay behind and chat with us, we will be there for about 10-15 more minutes. So you're most welcome to stay behind and have a chat. But I will turn off the recording right now.